In this question, it's in terms of dy dx. So let v equal dy dx. dv dx is the second derivative. d2y dx2, which we're given in the question. And we also know that dv dx, the chain rule, is dy dx times dv dy. We have dy dx in terms of v. So v is dv dy is the second derivative, which is minus y in the question. So v dv is equal to minus y dy. If we put our integrals in, we're told that v dv, which is our dy dx, is 2 when y is 0. So we integrate, we're going to get v squared over 2 between v and 2 equals minus y squared over 2 between y and 0. So we're going to get v squared over 2, putting v in, minus 4 over 2, which is 2, equals minus y squared over 2, and then it will be minus or plus 0, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to get v squared over 2, or we'll multiply everything by 2 maybe first. I'm going to get v squared minus 4 is equal to minus y squared. So v squared is equal to minus y squared plus 4. So v is equal to the square root of the right hand side. Might be tidier to write as 4 minus y squared. Only need to write one sign then instead of 2. And that would be the plus or minus version of this. So can it be the minus version? No, v is 2 when y is 0. So that would be the reject the negative. Well, the dog is drinking his water, and accept that v is equal to the square root of 4 minus y squared. And we also know from the beginning that v is dy dx. So dy dx is equal to 4 minus y squared to the power of a half. Just saying it's not easier to do that. Let's write it as the square root because we can see what's happening here. It's going to integrate to the inverse sign. So dy over the square root of 4 minus y squared is equal to dx. Integrating the left hand side. What are my values? Y and x, 0 and 0. Y is 0 and x is 0. And if we integrate the left hand side here, we're going to get the inverse sign of x over a, which is y over 2. And that's between y and 0, equal to integrating my invisible 1 dx, we just get x between x and 0. So we're going to get the inverse sign of y over 2 minus the inverse sign of 0, which is equal to 0, is equal to x minus 0. If you want to cross them off, we're going to get the inverse sign of y over 2 is equal to x. So we get the sine of x is equal to y over 2. So twice the sine of x is equal to y. Tie these up nicely at the end.